Hello pen friends, welcome back to my channel. This is blah 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 blah. Hello everyone. Hello pen friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy here, and I am coming at you today with another ink sample inventory video. So last time I managed to sample this many inks. I'm not going to count them, but I want to do the next page. However, I noticed that it is a little bit dirty, which is fine for what this is, but I can already tell that I am looking at these inks more because I can see what they look like. So this has been really great, even just to have those few 13 or 14 inks in this book. So I'm just going to get started. I am using my, as I'm throwing ink, I am using my Hokoro dip nib in the medium nib, and then I'm also using my stirrer stick, glass stirrer stick. This one has a bunny on it. It makes me really happy. But yeah, and then I'm also using my Traveler's Notebook grid MD paper, and I'm very excited about this MD paper. The more I use it, I really like it. So let's just get started. The inks are in such a random order. I'm just going to grab and I'm going to go. So sit back and enjoy while I swatch, and it's kind of a chill swatch and chat. All right, first one up is Wearingeul Dorothy. Now I'm pretty sure if I checked their website correct, Wearingeul has discontinued Dorothy. So I know that when I first swatched this, I really liked it. And I ended up finding a bottle and I bought it without even knowing if I like this ink for real or if I just liked the little sample that I saw. Oh my goodness. So this lid wants to go everywhere. All right, so this is, how did I do it on the other page? Just Wearingeul's name. Yeah. So I don't even know, I do like it though. Yeah, looking at it, it is a beautiful ink. It's like a soft, dusty navy. It's the way that I would say. I don't know what it makes it Dorothy exactly, but you know, I guess I'd have to look up the name, but I'm gonna draw a shoe because, you know, Dorothy has the shoes in the movie, and I guess the book. I've never read those books, the Wizard of Oz books. I tried to read Wicked, but I got just so angry at their portrayal of Indigenous people. It made me just so angry that I said, you know what? I like the movie, the Wicked movie, that's fine, but this is not okay. So I just set the book down because I choose what I read, and I just, as a person who works and lives in South Dakota, one of the things as an educator, we have to do Native American studies, and it's really sad what has happened through the course of the years, and I just think that Native American culture is so fantastically interesting and beautiful, and I don't think that we portray that in media very well. We portray them as something completely different, and I don't want to take part of it if I see it. So that's just me. Yeah, that is kind of my thing with it, is I want to practice what I teach, or what I teach in my classrooms, you know, and yeah, that's just important to me. Ferris Wheel Press, Dusk in Bloom. I think this is another one that is discontinued by Ferris Wheel Press. They've been discontinuing a lot of their inks lately, and I have to stop myself from the FOMO of it. Like, this one is beautiful, and it's light. It's a light, sweet, soft blue that's totally up my alley, but I don't know that I need a full bottle, especially when I have all these other blues. But it's so hard for me when I am looking at these And I don't know, let me know how you are with this stuff. But I am so particular about how an ink looks with what I have in my head. And maybe that's just the artist in me. But when I am planning for a month, I want everything to match the theme and to look right. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's not the right blue, that's not the right pink. But I can get over it, right? Can I get over it? I don't know. But I do know that I am overwhelmed by my collection, and I don't really even know what I have anymore. So I'm trying to work through it. I feel like even a 4 milliliter sample is a lot of ink, and I didn't always feel that way. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna go through this so fast, and that is not what has happened. So I do sometimes go through the inks really fast, but not all the time. This one I do know is discontinued by Wearingeul. Again, this one is Wearingeul's Tsukuyomi, or Tsukuyomi. The only reason I was on Wearingeul's website, that's why I know these things. I don't know if they make an announcement places, but I was on Wearingeul's website looking for, gosh, what was I looking for? I don't even know. I think I was looking for the date that the Carmilla ink comes up, because I love the book Carmilla, and I'm really excited about having a dusty red that goes with that book. And so I was looking and I thought, oh, I really liked that ink. I do like this Tsukuyomi, so I did get a bottle of this as well. And so I'm just kind of inking or putting them in the swatches so I can use these faster. I have found recently, and I don't know if this is a normal thing that happens for everyone, that the ink samples have been a little different than the bottles that I've been getting. And I don't know if it's because they are, some of these samples are a couple years old. And so I'm wondering if they're evaporating and getting darker or changing properties. But the bottles have been different. Like Beneath the Wheel, that ink sample was so different from the bottle. And I bought a full bottle because I used my whole sample. Anyway, that's just how that goes, right? All right. The next one, I don't even know if I've sampled this one, but this one is, if I can get it shaken up so the shimmer, there's like a piece of shimmer that's like stuck right there. This is Van Dieman's, maybe, Lilac Roller Breast. So it's the Birds of a Feather. And I have another one too, so I'm gonna put them next to each other. But this is the pink, and it looked so pink, like happy pink. And it has a shimmer, but I don't know if that's gonna be readable and if it's the shade of pink that I really want. So that's why I decided to opt for a sample rather than a bottle of it, because I had a huge problem before. I'm gonna flip my camera here. Van Dieman's Lilac Roller Breast. Yeah, I love that. Okay. I love soft pinks, especially pinks that lean cooler toned. Oh, that's beautiful. And I know this is a bird ink, so of course I gotta draw a bird. But I am so obsessed with pink inks that I had a bad habit, like I was saying. I had a bad habit of just buying bottles of pink ink. I mean, I would look at the samples, I would go read reviews, and then I would be like, all right, buying it, just the whole bottle, because let the whole bottle come to me. I ended up with a lot of pink bottles of ink, and I don't always use pink for everything, but I do use pink a lot. So there's a lot of pink in my collection. But then you get this. So I think, did I ink this up last time? I hope I didn't. ink this or put the sample. I do have a full bottle, and I couldn't remember if I had decided to swatch my samples of full bottles of ink. But this ink, I got a sample months and months ago from Venice. And then I used the majority of the sample, and I went back to Venice, and they didn't have full bottles in stock. So I bought their last sample, and then I went on a hunt because I found out that this Kobe Light Rose was a collaboration with Lamy for their Light Rose safari pen. And I tell you what, this is my perfect pink. My absolute perfect pink, and I was devastated that I could only have samples because I love this. This is just, I can't explain what is so perfect about it, but there's a tone in color and shade and just everything. This is my favorite pink I have ever had, and I ended up on Reddit, the Reddit fountain pen group, or the fountain pen swap group or whatever, and somebody was selling the other two Kobe Lamy Safari ones. There was like an aqua and a spring green, and I messaged them and I said, hey, you wouldn't happen to have the Light Rose bottle that I could buy off of you as well? And they go, no, I'm sorry, I only have these two. And I was, I lamented to them that I've been looking for this ink forever, everywhere. And they found it through some distributor channel in Japan. So they shipped it to me directly from Japan, and I just paid them. And oh my goodness, like, it's just one of those things where I now have a full bottle of this, and I love it. So I'm going to have it for a while, and that makes me just really happy. So I don't remember the Redditor's name. I have a little note from her, but I don't remember her name. I think it was Anna, maybe, but I don't think she watches my channel. But I'm just so grateful to this community. Everybody is so wonderful to everybody, and I love to be able to give back in whatever way I can. So I'm trying. It's hard when you have a lot of life going on and life is busy, but I'm trying. So I'm getting into the letter writing and whatnot. So, and I'm definitely always open to doing ink swaps. Just feel free, if you want to, reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram link is in my description. I always am looking for it. This one is Dusky Pink. And now this one is so interesting to me as well, just because it's not the dusky pink I expect Dusky Pink to be. Robert Oster's pinks are really interesting to me. And I don't know, I'm not sure about them, but this one leans very purple, which sometimes I like, but it seems more like a light wine than a dusky pink to me. But it's a nice color. It's kind of reminds me of like if you had a brownish pink, but I do like it a lot. But it's pretty. It's not one I've used. What's funny is I like it. I've swatched it once in my swatch book, and then it's kind of sat there. But I think that comes from having so many inks. All right, Van Diemen's Kitten Paw. I can't remember what this was, but I think I did ink it up in a pen once. It's kind of a brownish pink. Like, yeah. But I can't remember if it was supposed to look like this. If somebody said on one of my videos that it's not necessary, I don't know, when I first got it, but I also don't know if I actually had my pen cleaned or whatever. But it's a kitten paw. So, you know, the little toe beans. I know that some artists really love drawing toe beans. I don't know. They're cute. I don't know if they're my favorite thing to draw. Maybe. Well, these ones are. Okay. Hello. How cute are you? Man. I have so much on my mind today, so like my brain is not firing on all cylinders. Okay, so this is the one that I have. This one is Van Diemen's Birds Honeybee Eater Wing, and I think this one is supposed to be like a green. And I know Heather from Heather Marie Plans has one of these bird ones that's a blue that I have to try. I just have to, but I've been in a green phase and like so much green. I have just been in love with green. I've been buying green accessories. Like, oh man, I found this tote that was a green tote. I don't know, it's really weird for me because I have never really been, I never hated green, but I've never been this big green, like, give me all the greens. Purple and pink have always been my thing, so I don't know. And mint greens or turquoises and teals. It's a Honeybee Eater Wing. I wonder what kind of bird that is. But lovely green ink. It really, really looks like Wearingeul's Beneath the Wheel, like the actual bottle of ink rather than my sample. So I don't know that I would need a full bottle. This is a new, like brand new ink. This is the first time I've swatched this, and it is feathering. So I don't know if that's one that I will want more than what I have for my sample, but it is lovely. It's getting some blue shading in there. I think in a fine or extra fine nib, that would be just fine. This is a medium nib, so that's always hard. Okay, this is Robert Oster's Burgundy Chocolate Notes. And this is one that I have had inked up in a pen multiple times. So I'm halfway through the sample. And it's one that I have had a really hard time with because I've thought about buying a full bottle, but I can't figure out, and I want to do some more exploring when I get a chance, if this looks just like Sailor Shikiori's Hara Hara or not. And it did when I had it in a pen, and I don't know if it was just, I don't know. So maybe I should just pull out my bottle of Sailor Shikiori Hara Hara and put it here, but I'm not going to right now because I want this to be my ink samples. So that's why I questioned whether or not I was going to do Kobe, but I want to use up those samples, so I did. And I don't have a sample of Hara Hara, I just have a bottle. So maybe if I have time at the end of this session, I can do it on a separate paper, just to see how close they are. But that one is just a lovely dark brown purple, and it makes me really happy. I don't know why it makes me so happy, but it does. And I don't know what this is supposed to be. We'll just go with it. I've been doing some different kinds of design work and design studying and art studying, so I'm not sure. That is one random doodle. There you go. You have a random doodle there. Okay, I'm gonna pause this here for a minute. I will be right back. Next one is Dominant Industries Daydream. This one is another pink, and I think I've only ever swatched it once, but I've never actually put it in a pen. So that might be a priority to get in a pen. It's another pink, of course. It's another pink with glitter. I really enjoy my Dominant Industry inks. I'm not sure if other people enjoy them as much as I do, but I do love them. I have, gosh, what do I have? I have three or four inked up this month. Oh man. That Honeybee Wing Eater down there is getting all over. It didn't dry. So this is Dominant Industry Daydream. And I think that's how I did. Okay, so this just reminds me, I don't know what it reminds me of. It kind of looks like a little bit lighter of Pink Sugar Beach by Ferris Wheel Press, that really candy bright pink, but it's got a different shimmer. I don't know what color shimmer it is. It kind of looks silver. Yeah, it looks like a silver shimmer, but I'm not sure until it dries, so we'll find out. Yeah. I don't know what I'm drawing here. There's a Daydream. Maybe. Yeah, so now these corally pinks, when I'm picking a pink, I will 100% say that I prefer this shade of pink over this shade when you've got soft, lighter pinks. It's just what I really like, and I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, you need to be in a pen. So I will probably prioritize one of my next inkings to be this one and this one. I love this softness. These two look great together, and I'm imagining a very happy princessy spread with it. Oh, that's my normal jam, is like the pastels and the like super princessy pastels and like the kawaii girly pastels. This is Robert Oster's Claret. Okay, so my reasoning for getting this sample, and I guess I don't even know if I swatched this. I just got it. So Coffee Monster Co. did a collaboration with Robert Oster last year. And they had this one, gosh, I forget what it's called, but it's this beautiful, beautiful pinkish purple. And so I asked Robert Oster, I know that they're not making that one, but if they had any suggestions for what's in their collection that's similar. And they told me the closest that you would get would probably be Claret. And it doesn't look the exact same as the swatch. I don't have the Coffee Monsters Co. And I forget, is it like Night at Dusk or something? I forget what the one is, but the coffee one, I wasn't all that interested in the Coffee Monsters Co. coffee one. It was the like pinkish mauvey purple that was the one that I really wanted to try, but unfortunately missed that. And I do think that the Coffee Monster Co. is not going to do another run of it, so that is okay. That's what happens when you have, you know, special edition inks, which is a good thing and a not so good thing. I am going over in my head the special edition ink thing, and why I'm like, maybe if I find out it's special edition, I just don't even look at it. But that one was so pretty that I wanted to try it, but that's okay that I didn't. And this one is a nice ink, but it does look really similar to Burgundy Chocolate Notes. I think this one's just a little bit more red, and so maybe I will consider using it more. It's one that I should ink up in a pen and see if I like it in a pen. I haven't, so, but I don't know how close it is to the Coffee Monsters Co. because I don't have that one to compare it to, but it is a lovely ink. I love the multi-shading of it. There's some really pretty like blues and reds in the dark parts where the ink pools, and then there's a lovely lighter purple. And if Robert Oster is saying this is close to it, the closest you're going to get, then I have to trust that Robert Oster knows, since they make the ink. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's one of those that you get kind of bummed when you don't get to try an ink. But at the same time, it's okay, because I don't want to try an ink, fall in love with it, and then only have a little bit of it. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe it would be okay to just have a sample. I am really trying to talk myself into being okay with just having a little bit, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. I hyperfixate on things, and like I hyperfixated on having pink inks, and so then I ended up with so many pink inks. I think I probably have almost every pink ink out there that I want, or most of the ones they have. So this one, this Muddy Wine, is a really pretty ink, but I know it's not necessarily one I would use. It's not my thing. I don't know. But it's pretty. It's a pretty ink. It's like a brownish red. But I don't know. If I'm going to go with a dark red, I think I'd rather do Writer's Blood, where it's got a little bit more saturation. But I am really just throwing random doodles out there, letting my brain just kind of do what it wants, not even thinking about what I'm drawing. I'm just doing a drawing so I can see how it looks with a drawing. I hope you don't mind. This is what comes into my brain. Sticks and a weird girl with the hair flip. Anybody else do those weird, like, pop? You know, it was early 2000s where you would take, I forgot what it's called, but that one show on, was it like Jersey Shore? Was there, her name was Snooki, but she had those big like bumps on the, like head bumps on the top of your head, where it was so cool to take your bangs and then tease them underneath to get your bump as high as it could. Oh yeah, I had the hair bump. So that's what that makes me think of, as it was a random little sketch or a random shape, and then all of a sudden it turned into a person. This is Dominant Industries Manurian Violet. Is that how you say it? I am not sure. Manchurian? I'm not sure. But it is a really pretty purple, and it's one of their standards. It was one that I was curious about, but it looks very similar to me to my Monteverde's Purple Mist. And so I'm going to use this. This is from Yoseka. I love their little bottles that Yoseka puts them in. They can be kind of a pain to get ink out of, but I think they're just so cute. Sometimes I think presentation is special, but I do like these bottles a lot. I only have a few of the Yosekas. And, but yeah, with this one, it just looks so much like Purple Mist. And I have a full bottle of Purple Mist. Purple Mist was one of the first inks I got full bottles of. So I've had it for a while. The only thing about Monteverde inks is that they can bleed quite a bit. But this one looks like it's kind of doing a little bit of feathering and bleeding. Well, I guess bleeding would be on the back of the page, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, it's not bleeding on the back of the page, but it is doing a little bit of feathering. So maybe it's this, just like when you get this like purple dye, it does that. But I also have Robert Oster's Go-Go and Cosmic Swirl. This is one of my favorite shades of purple. So I wanted to try it to see if it was any different than them. And I don't think it really is, but I'm happy that I have a sample and that I tried it before buying a full bottle, because this one, sometimes it seems like is really hard to find and out of stock. All right, we've got Private Reserve Neon Pink. I have never actually put this in a pen, and I've had it forever. I've had it for so long. I don't know. Oh, hey, it's mixing with the purple that was, I thought I had cleaned it off, but there we go. So the swatch is going to be a little wrong. But this one is so radioactive and neon, and I love it. Love me a good neon pink. Like, look at that. It's highlighter pink. I don't know why I haven't put it in a pen. I don't know. I really don't know why I haven't put it in a pen. It's one that I should put in a pen very soon, because I just love it. I love pink. I think one of the things for me is I've been in such a muted color mood that these bright opera pinks and these bright purples that just haven't really fit with the palettes that I've been doing. And so that makes it hard to want to put the pinks in a pen, because then they clash with the rest of the palette. But also it's okay if I have one ink that clashes with the palette, because I journal every day in a different notebook, so I think it would be just fine. But who's to say? All right, here is another Robert Oster pink. This one is Robert Oster Pinky. I can't remember if I liked this ink or not. It might be too reddish pink for me. I think I was trying to figure out which Robert Oster pinks I liked at one point, and I'm pretty sure I got most of them in samples, if not all of them. And I have bottles of Plum Nut, Cherry Blossom, and Australis Rose. But those three colors are very, very similar. So I just haven't really looked at much other Robert Oster pinks because they all look so close to each other that, yeah, it will be a while. This one is trying very fun. I almost like it mixed with like a drop of that purple. It makes a really lovely, lovely pink, which is funny. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will put a little, no, I won't. Maybe. Who knows? I have been drawing my dogs nonstop lately, and they just make me so happy. Both of my dogs do. So I'm going to draw a dog here. I don't know what kind of dog this is, but I have two crazy mutts, and a lot of times on some of my videos, you'll hear mostly Brutus. He is an old dog that likes to bark at his own shadow. So I've been into dogs, and I've been looking at developing a little comic about my dogs. I named it The Adventures of Brew and Moo, but I don't know if I'll ever actually come out with it or if I'll actually do the comic, but it's fun to try. I have little character designs for them. I imagine Brutus as being this like broody, annoyed at everything, disillusioned old man who used to party and like, cause that's kind of who he is. He, until we got Moo a year ago now, and she's just a little over a year. Till we got her, he was just a punk. He was always driving us crazy. He wanted to play, and then he got a puppy, and she has way more energy than he does, so then she wore him out after the first few days, and now he's just a lazy old pile because anytime he has energy, she takes full advantage of that. She takes full advantage of anybody having energy and giving her time of the day, but yeah, it's pretty cute. But so he used to be a playful dog, and now he's just living the best old dog life, hanging out with his dad every day downstairs in the cool and running the roost and just playing when he wants and being cute. So yeah, this is where I think looking at these in writing, Robert Oster Pinky and Hot Pink are very similar, and I don't know that I love either of them. To me, they look more magenta than they do pink. Like when I think of Pinky, and you know, maybe it's just different strokes and we all think different, but when I think Pinky, I don't think this. I think more like eraser pink, like the Dominant Industry Daydream. So these I will use the samples, but I'm really glad that I didn't buy full bottles of them because they're just not my shades of pink. If you can see, this is my shade of pink right here. Like these two are really my shades of pink. I love this almost slightly purple leaning pink, whereas these are more red leaning pinks. And so it's learning that about yourself through this. It's a lot of fun to figure that out, but it just takes forever. All right, another Robert Oster. I do like Robert Oster inks a lot. I do find them to be very well behaved, and they have such interesting colors. Just sometimes the names that they give their inks, like those just don't seem hot. I think when I think of hot pink though, I think of like neon pink, but make it like darker. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I don't think I have anything hot pink right next to me, but I think of something different than what Robert Oster did, but that's also, I don't know, maybe that is hot pink. Let me know what you think. Are you a pink fan like me? I don't know. I don't feel like that there's that many of us out there, and there should be more of us. Oh no, there's still pink on here, so hopefully this didn't mess up. I didn't dip that in the green. But this is Australis Tea. I've looked at this for a while, and I wanted to see what it looked like. I think I like this green. It very much so looks like neon green, or not like lime green, but a little darker than lime green. Oh, that was my husband. I don't know if you heard that. That was a loud sneeze. Yeah, I really like this one. This is definitely going to go into a pen very soon. I'm trying really hard not to ink more pens. I've inked a couple since the first, and I'm trying really hard to be good about it, but it's not easy when you like to ink pens and you like to have color, and yeah. But I'm really trying, because I even know that I have inked quite a few pens, or not quite, I've inked less pens this month, but I'm still gravitating towards like 6 or 7 of them rather than all the ones that I have. So I need to kind of play around with continuing to have less and less pens inked for the month so I can add a couple new ones, but we'll see. Or do I go to a week by week kind of deal? I don't know. I haven't decided, but I have to figure this out, and it's part of figuring out what works for you, right? Yeah, totally. All right. Excuse me. I think I can fit 2 more inks on here. So we're going to do Wearingeul's TikTok Croc. That looks to me a lot like all my Pilot Euro Shizuku green and teals. I feel like Pilot Euro Shizuku, or like Pilot, only knows how to make one shade of green, and they're all very blue leaning, and that looks just like that. So I'm glad I only got a sample. Like, this could be best friends with Sui Gyoku, or is it Kujaku? But I feel like it's, you know, and it'd be funny if I put them next to each other and they were completely different, but right now they look very similar to me. At least off of my memory. Usually my color memory is pretty good, because I love color. So we're gonna draw a Croc here. Tick, tock, Croc. There we go. Oh, nice. Yeah. It is pretty green though. These are the kinds of greens that I like, the like dark teals and stuff, or used to. I've been more olivey greens or yellowy greens lately, but I just like green. Let's be real. I am in a green phase. I'm very excited about trying this one. This is Wearingeul's Tinkerbell. And it's got a gold shimmer down here, and I'm trying to get that shimmer to mix up in the ink. Doesn't actually, this sample doesn't have too much shimmer, so hopefully I get some shimmer in there. The shimmer was very lacking at the bottom of the bottle. That's the only thing about samples, is that it's not going to always have the same amount. But this one is supposed to be a really soft gray green, and It's got a gold shimmer with that softness that I love. I love the soft light colors, especially gray greens. But let's see. Oh, yeah. I love this. Wearingeul Tinkerbell. I do think through the last couple years, as I've gotten more and more ink and I've played with more ink, that Wearingeul ink just makes me so happy. It just touches all my book loving buttons, and I love that they have stories. I have realized more and more that story, and this shouldn't be a shock to me as a person who has a degree in English, as a person who like eats books for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that story matters to me. And when you have stories that are what you inspired your stuff from, that makes me so happy. Like, I know Van Dieman's stuff is usually inspired by either animals or Australia, since they're from Australia. And I think that is just so, it just gives it such a meaning. Like, I am writing with an ink from, you know, Wizard of Oz, and when I write with this ink and I know that that's the inspiration behind it, it just gives me more of those nostalgic feelings, and I am always looking for nostalgic feel. I don't know if other people are, but that is definitely something for me that I'm always looking for, is just feeling that nostalgia. And so I think that's one of the reasons I love Wearingeul's Jane Eyre so much, is because I love that book, but then it's this beautiful, soft, gray purple that has such interesting textures inside the ink. So then it's, oh yeah, this is even more right up my alley, because I love inks that are interesting, that do interesting things. Like, okay, as we have had these dry, like, so Van Dieman's Honeybee Eater Wing was so different when it was still wet. This looks different than most of my green inks. Maybe Mad Hatter, but Mad Hatter is more gray. And maybe Green Umber, but I want to try this in a pen and see how it looks in a pen, because that is beautiful. Like Burgundy Chocolate Notes has such interesting things going on with shading, and when I look at this page, Light Rose is just a lovely light pink. It doesn't look as beautiful on this white Midori paper, which is really interesting, but on Leuchtturm paper, I absolutely love Light Rose. Like, looking at this would not be my favorite pink, which is really interesting how much paper matters too. Because had I had Light Rose in a pen on this paper, I don't think I would have been so desperate to find a whole bottle. So interesting, because I'm switching a lot of my pens or a lot of my notebooks to this paper, except for my creative journal, which is my Leuchtturm, and that's going to stay my Leuchtturm at least for another 2 journals because I have them already purchased. But I still love Tsukuyomi is really interesting, and I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. I'm kind of trying to see if it would. If it does, you'll have to let me know, because I can't really tell as I'm holding this up. Tsukuyomi has a pink undertone that is just stunning. Dusk and Bloom is one that I keep looking at and thinking, oh, I love this. But really, this to me is a really nice blue, but I'm kind of glad I don't have a full bottle, because it is one that I don't think I will need. This one, yeah, I'm probably gonna have a full bottle. It's got my favorite Van Dieman's shimmer in it. I don't know what it does, but the shimmer has like a pink and kind of the iridescent opal look, and I love that. I don't know what their color ink is. I might have to look it up and see, but this is the same ink that's in Swan Lake, and I think a couple others that I just love. I think Sacagawea has that too. Kitten's Paw is an interesting one. It looks like a lot like Opera Rose by Teranishi. Yeah. And I'd love to know if there's somebody out there that has the Coffee Monster Co. to tell me if this Claret looks similar to it or not. I'm not sure. And it might depend on the paper too. The Daydream actually dried a lot lighter than I thought it would be. So that's really pretty. But it's not the same as this Lilac Roller Breast. That's my pink. Oh, let's see. Anything else standing out? The Pinky and the Hot Pink, they just aren't my cup of tea. The Pinky looks red. It looks very similar to Momiji by Pilot Air Shizuku without the gold sheen. And the gold sheen is what makes Momiji so interesting. Let's see here, for me at least. Australis Tea, yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot. Wearingeul's TikTok Croc is just not doing anything special to me. I will ink it up in a pen just to see, but it does look like every other teal ink I have, or like dark green leaning. But Tinkerbell is unlike any green ink I've seen, and I'm excited to get that one in a pen next month too. So there is my second round. I think I have enough time that I am going to pause this and compare Burgundy Chocolate Notes to Sailor Shikiori Hara Hara on a separate sheet of paper, because I'm really curious and I just want to share it with you since I have both of them already and we're here anyway, why not? All right, and for this comparison, I pulled out my Canson notebook because I feel like this Canson ink paper shows properties of ink so well, but this is Hara Hara. I do really like Hara Hara too, and I'm gonna really get it kind of different, you know, kind of the Hi Julia here bubble so you can get the different shades. And I mean, it could be that it's not that similar once it dries, but they look so similar to me. And I think even in a pen, I really want to check that out because I do like Hara Hara and I've had it in a pen before. So it was one of those things where I noticed that they looked really similar. I was really close to buying a bottle of chocolate notes because I do like it. But then I saw Hara Hara in my collection too. But maybe this one actually looks more like Claret or Claret. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. Hara Hara. And I'm gonna put down here, I wanna put down here a test, a manuscript test, because I wanna see them right next to each other. Although I've been writing in cursive a lot more lately, which is interesting because I've never been a cursive person. Manuscript test side by side. And I'm gonna write the same words over and over. Or not over and over, but I'm gonna write the same words over. Hello. There we go. Okay. So as that's drying, I do like Hara Hara a lot. And I do like Burgundy Chocolate Notes. So even if they're not exactly the same, they are very similar and they are lovely colors. So there's Burgundy Chocolate Notes. And see, when you lay it down, it does look different, at least in the swatches, but I'm more interested in how it looks when you write with it. So I've really been thinking a lot about a lot of this stuff, you know, do I need this? Am I loving it? Or is it just that I'm crazy? Not that I'm crazy. I'm just, you know, you have to make sure that you're using what you have It's okay to have stuff, but you also need to use it so it doesn't go bad. Manuscript. Test. Hello. Okay, I do want to try, since I have it, I do want to try Claret, since it's there. See, and this is drying different than when you lay it down. Where did I put Claret? Right here, because I used it. So it's in my I used you pile, which is basically just a bunch of ink on my table. See, now this one looks to be more saturated. Way more saturated than these two. Okay, okay. Roberts, Oster. You know, not Robert Oster, but Roberts Oster Claret. So as I'm writing Hello, I don't know if anybody else does this. Do any of you remember the Jello commercial with Jello? It's alive. That's all I can think is every time I write hello, Hello, I want to say Hello, it's alive. Yes, that's what goes on through my head. So thus is my brain, always making connections from this to this to this. And I can't explain why my brain does it, but it does. Okay, so they aren't completely dry, but when you look at those two dried, or because this part is dry and this part is dry, when you look at them, they are really similar. And honestly, Claret isn't much different either. The one thing I will say is that this one is more black haloing, if you can see it, but very minimal. When you look down here, they all look the same when you're writing with them. So when I made the when I went to the conclusion that Hara Hara and Burgundy Chocolate Notes are pretty much the same ink, I was making the right choice, and I am still happy that I didn't buy a full bottle of Burgundy Chocolate Notes, at least until I run out of Hara Hara. When I run out of Hara Hara, then I can buy a bottle of Burgundy Chocolate Notes. I think that's how I'm gonna go with this. And I love the Claret too. It does go a little bit redder and a little bit darker. If you can see, this part's dry here, so you can see it's a little bit different, but not enough that I think I would want more than that little sample that I have. I do love this color though. It's very fall for me, so it will be coming back in the fall winter. I'm definitely looking at more muted tones right now, but they are more warm, not as, I mean, and this I guess would technically kind of be a warmer shade of a purple, but it's not. When I think of this one feels very autumnal to me. I can't explain it, and I don't know if other people kind of, I know that there's all the color psychology, but I feel like sometimes a color can hold a certain memory for us too, and this one feels like a warm, or not a warm, a cool autumn day for snow, because we get our snow sometimes in October. So it makes me just feel like cold. I can't explain why, but that's what this color feels like to me. So this one is definitely not what I'm using right now, because that's not what I feel right now. I feel hot and gross and muggy, and I want bright and soft and light. So that is what I'm thinking. So anyway, yeah, I am glad, like looking at these, I am very glad that I did make that assumption, and I'm still sticking to it as I'm going through my inks. So this is really helping me go through my inks in a way that is really, really getting there. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to set that aside because it is still wet, and I didn't want to just plop down my my swatches. So now I have 2 full spreads filled with ink. Also, somebody told me that ibid in the language this is from, I forgot which language it's from. It's an Asian country. I don't remember where Vinta's from, but apparently this is a lizard in their language, and so this makes so much more sense, this color and why this is that color. So it's not what I looked up, but it is something fun, a lizard. That makes me excited to get that in a pen. I probably will put it in my Jurassic SD, because I always like to put lizardy things in there. Or you know, Salamander has been in there. Jurassic by KWZ has been in there. Our Jurassic Treasures. So yeah, anyway, that is it for today. I appreciate you so much coming to my channel. Let me know if you like any of the inks that I swatched today. If you have any ideas of little doodles, I kind of just doodle whatever comes into my head, because I'm doing a lot of doodle practice, a lot of like looking at shapes, and a lot of studying figures and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I am glad you're here. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.